Let's talk monogamy. In this video I'll be comparing the Formlabs Form 4 against the HeyGears latest offering, the Ultracraft Reflex RS TURBO. Head to head, two business orientated giants playing in an arena filled with hobby 3D printer manufacturers. The sole purpose of these two behemoths is crystal clear. They want you to be exclusive, using only their resins and only their slicers, meaning a locked-in experience tighter than a gnat's arse, mostly. We'll examine initial and ongoing costs, build volume, setup, ease of use, etc, to help you decide if one of these machines is right for you. Now, I'm not affiliated with either company and the opinions expressed here are solely my own. Now, for clarity, I was sent both these machines to review separately, and I'll put links in the description to those specific videos, so if you want to delve a little deeper into either, then you can. Now, if you seek plug and play reliability, exceptional support and a refined user experience, both these printers offer these qualities abundantly. They provide an environment where beginners can unbox their chosen machine and receive comprehensive guidance through the intricacies of 3D printing. Rather than facing a steep learning curve, users will encounter a gentle and supportive progression into creating 3D printed models. So let's start with the shipping and arrival. Well, both items were shipped quickly, well packaged and arrived undamaged. And while it has to be said Formlabs packaging was a little more refined, maybe a little more robust, the RS Turbo was definitely not far behind. Clear setup instructions were included, making unboxing and assembly straightforward, and with just a few easy steps and a setup video which is also available, both machines were printing in no time at all. Now, we can't compare these videos without looking at the cost, and in this discussion we'll examine the initial costs associated with starting 3D printing on these machines. To facilitate an easier comparison, I will make a few assumptions. Firstly, I'll assume these machines are for hobbyists, not businesses. Hobbyists create items like superhero models or tabletop figurines for fun rather than mass production, and hobby users generally don't have unlimited budgets. I'll also assume that you require a 3D printer with a heated vat. While this feature is standard on the Form 4, it must be purchased separately for the HeyGears RS Turbo, so I'll include that cost too. Both machines are fundamentally designed to use their own resins within their respective ecosystems. I will therefore include in the cost 5 kilograms of their least expensive resins, which can be used for creating models or busts ad infinitum. I'll come back to resins later, as this is a topic definitely needing its own discussion, but again, these two machines are pretty much the only two on the market at the moment where their ecosystems are locked down. Now, I'm not going to be including their respective washing and curing stations, as this I want to be primarily about the two printers. I'll touch on them to look at costs, but realistically any washing cure station will work with either of these printers. At the time of making this video, the Form 4 basic package, which includes a build platform and a finishing kit which contains a sander and a rotary tool, costs £3,478.80. Additionally, 5 kilograms of their basic V5 grey resin comes in at £426. That brings the total cost to an eye-watering £3,904.80 for the very basic of starts. The HeyGears Reflex RS Turbo, included with their 5 kilograms of their cheapest grey Pass 10 resin, comes in at £1,120.75. Add a heated vat as discussed, which comes in at £190.80, and that brings the total to £1,311.55. So price wise, the HeyGears wins this round easily, coming in at a whopping 66% cheaper than the Form 4. Build volumes. The Formlabs Form 4 offers a build volume of 200 by 125 times 200 210mm, whilst the HeyGears comes in at 222 x 122 x 228mm. So the Reflex RS Turbo edges out the Form 4 with a slightly wider and taller build volume, giving you a bit more vertical real estate and width for those ambitious prints. It's not a massive difference, to be fair, but if you're printing tall miniatures, those extra millimetres can be the difference between a single print and a split and glue job. Round 2 to the Turbo, but only just. Round 3 is their build plates. Now, Formlabs Form 4 build plate offers a precision machined aluminium material with a lightly textured surface. Attaching to the printer via a compression lever, there is no manual levelling required in this printer, as this is all done in the factory, so no user calibration is required. The printer uses internal sensors to ensure the machine is level, and sloped edges on the build platform help resin drip back into the tank, and it's never fully submerged anyway, as it uses less resin in the vat, but more on that later. It has to be noted here that there is an option to add a flex plate release build plate at an extra cost of £250.80. This alternative build platform features a flexible stainless steel print surface that attaches magnetically to the build platform body. When your print is done, you simply bend the surface using the built-in release tabs, and voila! Your prints pop off easily without tools or scraping or the risk of gouging your masterpiece. The HeyGears Reflex RS Turbo build plate comes in etched solid stainless steel. It's quite heavy and annoyingly flat on the top with no slope at all, so resin tends to pool and must be scraped off manually, which can be a pain. Now, this can be fixed with an easy third-party print, but out of the box it's a bit of a pain in the bum. It too attaches via a lever lock mechanism for a secure quick hold and release, and the turbo is also factory levelled with strain gauge feedback. The printer will alert you if the machine isn't level and walks you through any adjustments, but realistically it's levelled out of the box. At the factory you do not need to do anything. The resin build-up on the HeyGears build plate post-print is frustrating, needing that third-party print to fix this, so in comparison the Form 4 is much better, especially with the flex plate, which significantly improves print removal and outperforms the HeyGears. So round 4 absolutely to the Form 4. The Formlabs Form 4 resin tank is made of plastic with a multi-layer film that cannot be replaced. It features an RFID chip to track resin type, uses and expiration, locking the vat to one specific resin. Yep, and you did hear me right, you cannot replace the FEP on these tanks. They are single use only, and when I say single use, you have got 75,000 layers to use, but you can't change the FEP. If it breaks or wears out, you replace the whole vat. Now, while you can reset this information, the design promotes single resin use per vat. Cleaning the vat is difficult and it lacks an easy pour spout. The Formlabs approach recommends using one vat per resin type, which can increase cost due to each vat costing £94.80. And the vats come with lids for easy stacking and connect to the printer via two quick release catches for one-handed operation. So just to reiterate, you cannot change the FEP or release layer, if you want to call it that, on these vats. There's also a resin wiper that fits to the vat. This wiper glides across the tank on wear strips mounted above the film. It moves periodically during the print, specifically after each layer or group of layers depending on the resin and print settings. It's designed to be gentle but thorough. If the wiper detects resistance, such as a failed print stuck to the film, it triggers a safety pause and alerts you to intervene. It also mixes the resin and distributes heat efficiently, which means the Form 4 uses less resin per layer in the vat. This heats the resin faster, which means prints start more quickly. The RS Turbo vat is more of a traditional vat, holding just under a litre of solution and held in place with two old-fashioned twiddly knobs. You can pour resin out of this one via the handy pour spout, and you can clean this one easy as it doesn't have little runners on the inside that the wiper runs on. You can also replace the FEP, but only with HeyGears' own FEP. You cannot stick any old FEP in there, and to buy that you've got to buy it directly from HeyGears. Everything else, like their locked-in ecosystem, which costs a lot of money, and if you want to put a heated vat in there, of course we spoke earlier, that's 190 quid. Ouch. Although the RS doesn't have a wiper blade, it does have residue detection, where it can find particles as small as 0.2mm in your vat and auto stop upon that detection, meaning you do not damage your FEP. Out of the two vats, the wiper on the Form 4 is truly innovative, meaning less resin in the vat to start with and during the print, so things work quicker. There's also debris detection through the entirety of the print. You can stack these vats better for quick swaps of your resin, and also the two clips locking it into the machine are a lot better than the HeyGears. I think this round to the Form 4. But please comment if you think that the fact you can't change your FEP is a major factor that would change that opinion. Both machines are blessed with a resin delivery system. The Form 4 system is automated and works really well at putting just a little bit of resin in when required. The HeyGears version requires gravity. It can be a little bit slow, so it may need topping up before you start with it poured in out the bottle, but at least there's nothing mechanical to go wrong. I have to say I prefer the Formlabs version as it seems much more efficient. Both machines have RFID in their bottles, so it will warn you if it finds an unexpected resin going in. The Form 4 uses something that they call a low force display. This is an ultra high powered light source which uses no less than 60 LEDs. It has an integrated cooling and collimating lenses system which they claim increases print speeds along with excellent print quality and accuracy anywhere on the build platform. And if you look closer, the yellow tinted screen is bumpy. This reduces peel forces. The Form 4 houses a 4K LCD screen with a 50 micron pixel size and employs advanced pixel smoothing for sub-pixel resolution. To reduce peel forces further, airflow is introduced, which helps to prevent the resin tank from suctioning to the screen, which also helps the print lift off the film easier. The Turbo has a 10.3 inch 8K amber screen. The amber tint acts like a filter, specifically blocking those pesky stray UV light rays. Think of it as sunglasses for your 3D printer. Plus, it doubles the lifespan of your screen, which, don't forget, is considered to be a consumable. And now HeyGears are reporting it can achieve 1 million layers. Now, coming in at just under 30 microns, the 8K resolution of the RS Turbo pips the Form 4 at the post with just slightly higher quality prints. Both screens, I'm happy to say, can easily be swapped out too, because don't forget, they are consumables. Both printers are designed to operate within a closed ecosystem, optimised for their own proprietary resins only. This streamlined approach offers consistency and reliability, but limits flexibility and vastly increases the costs, also often restricting third-party material use through software, hardware or licensing. Now, there are some notable benefits to using proprietary resins, and these are that pre-calibrated resins ensure consistent exposure, layer times and therefore performance, reducing print failures. There's no need at all for user adjustment, making it easier for beginners or users who want that ease of use simplified process. Features such as resin cartridge detection and autofill mechanisms reduce mess and ensure proper resin flow, and also prevent the wrong resin use, and this works through RFID technology. Unfortunately, there are of course some negatives. Resins are generally 2 to 3 times more expensive than third-party options, and sometimes even more. They are often only available via the manufacturer's direct website, meaning limited choice, cost comparison and possible lengthy shipping times ensue. Users who may want to cannot adjust exposure settings or use third-party slicers like Chitupox or Lychee. They are locked to using these machines' own slicers. Now, you can use third-party resins in these machines to a point. For example, on the HeyGears RS Turbo, popular resins like Sunlu Basic will work absolutely fine. It's a bit of a hack to do this, and you're flying without a safety net, but it isn't difficult. If you're comfortable with some trial and error, it's perfectly doable. But if you want full control over exposure settings and slicing, it might feel creatively restrictive. Thankfully, here at Greedy 3D, I've shown that the RS and the Turbo will work perfectly with most third-party resins, and I have a video library full of examples of how to do this, so make sure you go and check them out. It's possible possible to use third-party resins, for example Sunlu Basic on the Form 4, by applying their basic grey setting and refilling the appropriate grey resin bottle, in a sense tricking the printer into thinking it's using its own resins. This, for me, resulted in a high quality print with no issues. Now, there are reports suggesting that the Form 4 may be more restricting and potentially block cartridges that are used maybe what it seems excessively. Although this has not been verified by me or experienced by me, there may not have been a lot of third-party testing out there in the internet world on the Form 4. So if you've encountered this or any other issues, please share your experiences. As an additional note, only the Form 4 officially offers an open material mode that allows users to use any resin they wish and modify the settings ad infinitum. However, unlocking this feature on the printer at the time of review costs just over £2,500, making it completely out of reach of most hobby users. More testing needs to happen on the Form 4, but given the amount of third-party use documented on the HeyGears RS and RS Turbo, I think the Turbo wins the third-party resin round easily on this occasion. Let me know if you disagree. When it comes to the slicing software, users are required to use the proprietary slicers of each system blueprint on the HeyGears RS and Preform on the Formlabs Form 4. Now, both slicers offer similar functionalities, allowing users to perform usual slicing actions such as adjusting size, orientation, hollowing, adding holes, etc. The processing of 3D prints and workflow is fairly similar on both platforms, with personal preference ultimately determining user choice. In my experience, the support settings on the Preform tend to be thicker and harder to remove after print compared to the more intuitive supports on the RS, which can be easily pulled away at the end of the printing process. Both slicers enable selection of their proprietary resins and will automatically configure settings such as cure times, eliminating the need for manual adjustment. Both slicers will allow you to send finished files via Wi-Fi to your respective printers, but on the HeyGears you have to actually go to the machine and press print. The Form 4 does this automatically for you. For continuous improvement, I would suggest that HeyGears stands out in the aspect as they consistently offer updates to the slicer, enhancing its functionalities based on user feedback. I do believe that, like everything else, personal preference will be the key in this, and will love one and hate the other, and vice versa. There is an option, of course, to use third-party slicers to a fashion. You would do all your work in that third-party slicer, such as maybe Chitubox. Save the now finished file, import this, and then just do the final slicing in your locked down slicer for the machine you're using. I found this to work wonderfully on the HeyGears, but I have to be honest, I haven't tried it too much on the Form 4. So let me know if you have, and also let me know which is the slicer you prefer. So which, if either, is the right machine for you? Like anything else in life, the choice comes down to your needs and priorities, personal opinion, and of course financial circumstance. The HeyGears Reflex Turbo unarguably delivers consistent speed and precision. It's built for throughput with a streamlined, locked-in ecosystem that favours simplicity, ease of use and reliability that will stretch but not break the budget. For users focused on production, volume and minimise variables, and of course removing the guesswork, it is undeniably efficient. But if you want to play outside of the locked-in resin environment, you can relatively easily and with confidence, as some serious user testing has proven that third-party resins not only work, but work well. The cost of the Turbo is not generically cheap, especially when we look at other options on the table, such as the 10-inch screen offerings from the likes of Elegoo or Anycubic. But as a hobby user, its robust build, die-hard reliability and ease of use make it worth the slightly stretched budget. Conversely, the Formlabs Form 4, although certainly brimming with sleek mechanical quality and style, is vastly overpriced for the hobby community. Equipped with an advanced low-force display system and support for open materials through its open material mode, it emphasises flexibility and precision, but at a cost. This device is tailored for users with very deep pockets, who are seeking both a handheld journey with no worry processing, But for those who may enjoy the flexibility for greater control over their printing process if required, novices maybe, or employees, they can get to grips easily with this machine, reducing the risk for incorrect material selection and reducing therefore the risk for human error, and of course promoting consistency with their mantra of ease of use. Whilst I believe it does not create 3D model support structures as effectively as the RS Turbo, something that's maybe paramount to the hobby users such as the tabletop gamer or superhero bust lovers, I feel that their slicer also on the Form 4 is less intuitive than the blueprint slicer from HeyGears, which seems more hobby friendly. And although I recognise of course that individual opinions may vary. Although this review does not assess the Form 4 from a business perspective, it's evident that the Form 4 is intended primarily for business and professional use. Despite its unquestionable capabilities as a hobby machine, its high initial and ongoing running costs will undoubtedly pose a barrier for non-professional users. Additionally, it has to be said and recognised that the Form 4 may be more comparable to the original HeyGears Ultracraft Reflex machine other than the RS Turbo. On that OG machine, it is similarly orientated towards business applications and offers a broader selection of resin types with more industrial features akin to what the Form 4 offers. If a comparative review of these machines is wanted, let me know and I'll make a video for that. But without doubt, both the Form 4 and the Turbo are capable of delivering high quality 3D prints. The Turbo's offerings, however, do tend to appear crisper and clearer, which is expected given its higher resolution screen. I believe that from a hobby perspective, both machines have their merits as shown in this video. However, for me, the HeyGears Ultracraft Reflex RS Turbo is the clear winner for hobbyists and people who just want to make busts and tabletop figures for the reasons that I've outlined in this video. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. I did say we would touch on the washing and curing stations for each, so let's have a quick look at the wash station for the Form 4. I love this wash station. It's got a large capacity, it's got a rise up and out tray, you can put the vat directly in it as well. I guess for me it's the little things, but it just does the job beautifully and it's my go-to wash station at the moment. But like everything Form 4, it does come in cheap, coming in at just under £700. Ouch. Now I'm not sure what the HeyGears R&D team were smoking when they came up with this idea of a vat that just shakes your models in some IPA. Does it work? Yeah, it does. Does it go really fast? Yeah, it does. And is it quite expensive? Yeah, it is. £370 and 80 pence. This will set you back if you want to shake your models to death. Whilst they didn't do so well with their washing station, the HeyGears curing station is absolutely amazing. It's got a door that opens on the front. Simple, effective, built-in heater. It does the job. It's big. You can fit all your models in it. I absolutely adore the HeyGears curing station. It is my go-to curing station at the moment, without doubt. But like anything else HeyGears, it isn't cheap. This one is coming in at £778.80. It is very expensive, but I do like it. Equally expensive is the Form Cure, coming in at £768. Unlike the HeyGears version, however, this one is pretty drab and simplistic and on the smaller side. Does it work? Yeah. Does it have a built-in heater? Yeah. Would I recommend you get this curing station for that cost? Not when you could buy the HeyGears one. Oh no, I just can't recommend this one. I do use it occasionally, I'm not going to lie, but my go-to is definitely the HeyGears. So washing on the Form 4 and curing on the HeyGears offerings, that's what I do. The names flying up the screen at the moment are that of my Patreons. Thank you guys, you are terrific, I love you all. Please subscribe to Greedy3D's YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button quick, it's free, it's easy. If you want to join the Patreon, all the details will be down below. Once again, thank you, my existing Patreons. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time on Greedy3D.